Hey, what up guys, Mikey here, and we're going over the Nexus 6P made by Huawei, and if this is a phone that you should get. If you don't already know, the letter P for this stands for premium in Nexus 6P, and this body in this build is pretty accurate because this build is a straight up all aluminum body and is very well made. It's got metal trim and it's just feels solid in the hand. The power button and the volume control are the only physical buttons on this phone. Here are some examples as far as size goes from iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, the Note 3, and a Moto X from 2014, and all of their sizes. Talking about size, this phone will actually fit into either your front or back pocket just fine. However, if you're wearing skinny jeans, you will find it more difficult to fit that guy in there. Specs. This guy has a Snapdragon 810 version 2.1 chip. He's got 3 gigs of RAM, an Adreno 430 GPU. I've been using this guy for a little bit and he refuses to slow down. Even when gaming, you'll find that this guy is a straight up winner. You've probably already noticed that the screen on this guy is very sharp, very clear, and just full of color. That's because this guy is an AMOLED display and is running a resolution of 1440 by 2560, and the PPI is 518. If I had to use one word to describe this, it would be crispy. Moving on to the bottom of the phone, you will find the USB Type-C port at the bottom of this guy, and you're going to be able to charge by Type-C only. There's no wireless charging. I know, it seems like a step backward, but it kind of makes up for it because there is fast charging on this guy, which means I plug my phone in for about 10 minutes and I'm gonna get at least a few hours of battery life, which is huge. Yes, this phone is big, but that means it also has a big battery. And the capacity of what this guy has right now is a 3,450 milliamp battery. Updates are pushed to this guy constantly. That means he's already running the newest and latest greatest version of Marshmallow. And because he's running Marshmallow, that means he's able to use the setting called Doze. Now, if you don't know what Doze is, in short, it basically puts your phone and all the other applications that aren't a high priority to sleep, and then just allows your phone to be optimized at a great level while still getting high priority notifications. The best part is that you don't actually have to toggle anything, you don't have to turn on a setting, you don't have to root this guy. Doze just comes on and it just starts working away. This actually comes stock with 32 gigs of storage, or 64, and if you have a lot of money, 128 gigs. That's because there's no micro SD card slot that you can actually put this in. Speaking of which, the bigger size of storage you get on this phone, the more it's gonna cost you. And this already starts off from $499 off of Google's website. You'll notice that the fingerprint button is on the back, which is a great spot. And it is very, very reactive. Setup for it is easy. All you have to do is just follow the steps either at the beginning, or you can just do it later on after you set up your phone. And the nice thing is that you can go ahead and set up another finger or thumb to work on this fingerprint scanner. You'll also notice when you put your hand in your pocket, your phone's already unlocked. Your finger naturally gravitates right to that sensor. Here's an iPhone 6 Plus. I tested the scanner and it took about 1.5 seconds to about 2 seconds. I used the Nexus 6P and that took about 0.8 seconds to about a second. You don't really know the difference, but as soon as you try the two, the experience is entirely different. The camera features a 12.3 megapixel sensor that Google actually says was originally made for a point-and-shoot camera, so that's pretty cool. But that's also why there's a bump on both the Nexus 5X as well as the Nexus 6P. I'm not sure if you caught this at the beginning of the video, but I had a number 2 pencil in front of the Nexus 6P, and you can barely even see the bump. The primary camera on the rear of it is 12.3 megapixel and has a laser autofocus with a dual LED, which is solid. That thing can shoot 4K video, and it doesn't have an image stabilization in there. However, as long as you've got somewhat of a steady hand, you shouldn't have to worry too much if you're shooting video. So these cameras on here are pretty impressive. Here's a few shots that I was able to get, and I would recommend this especially for anyone who wants this for the camera. Go for it. This phone for the camera is off the charts for both the rear facing and the front facing camera. The biggest thing right now is, who is this for? This phone is actually for anyone who would like to buy an unlocked phone, have a great experience with Android running Marshmallow right now, being able to use a fingerprint sensor on the back, and just having a really good time with this. And the battery life goes for days. I'm a heavy user of it, especially being a technician for IT at the company that I work at, and I use it all the time. So my old phone from the Moto X to this is a huge difference. Thanks so much for coming out, and if you have any questions on this, please by all means ask in the comment section below that like button, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Peace.